Yo, what's up YouTube? Let me try to do this video. I'm sitting here trying to watch this Tennessee-Michigan State game, but I want to get this video off my chest. Okay. Exclusivity. One of my biggest problems with both black men and black women is we act as if we don't require exclusivity. What do I mean? Okay. You have to compete. Whether it's the man you want or the woman you want, you have to compete. But you're always going to be mindful of who you're competing against. Okay? And as a black man, what frustrates me is you have so many black men that will sit up and say, yeah, I want, the well-to-do, humble black girl. But at the same time, I'm trying to check for, Debbie and Guadalupe and all these other non-black women, Ming Su, I'm trying to check for everybody, and black women are just supposed to accept that. No, they're not. Okay, a black woman isn't going to accept the whole idea of having to compete with you if you're going to compete with, obviously, a unproductive black woman. That's pretty clear. But at the same time, she's not also going to accept the whole idea of having to compete, okay, even with a non-black girl who I guess has the same sort of job or career or whatever, right? Why? Go back to Mary J. Blige. I can love you better than she can, okay? In her eyes, she's only going to want to compete against other well-to-do, productive, humble black women. Why? Because they know that, yes, she equally understands you just as well as I can. So what I can do for you is more than a non-black woman or unproductive black woman can. So yeah, at her best, that white girl may be able to, connect with you 80%. But with all things being equal, I will be able to connect with you maybe 90 to 95%. So don't have me up here trying to compete, and act as if, everybody's equal. I agree, right? And the same could be said when you flip it around. I don't know how a lot of sisters can come off and act as if, they're checking for the productive black man. But at the same time, they're going to check for the unproductive white guy. And act as if I'm supposed to just compete. Right? It's clear that, yeah, I'm not going to compete against a unproductive black man. But I don't care if the non-black guy, we have the same job, this, that, and the third. Right? It goes back to the whole, at his best, there's 80%. But at my best, it's 95%. So unless it's another well-to-do, productive black man, I'm not going to compete. I'm going to fall back. And like I said, it's a problem that I see both sides making. And the crazy thing is, all these other groups that we want to compare ourselves to, it's already established. Okay? Like I said before, the white girl or the non-black girl, she knows when she's going after the productive men of her own group, she knows she's going to cut out black guys. She's going to cut out any dude who's unproductive. What do I mean? Even in college, the white girls knew, hey, if I'm trying to get with the all-American frat white guy who's going to go off and, work in corporate America, I have to, say bye-bye to Tyrone, even though Tyrone is in school as well, even though Tyrone is in college, right? Even though Tyrone is a pretty good guy. Why? Because this white guy is not going to compete. It is what it is. It's clear that he's also not going to compete, with a biker boy white guy with a whole bunch of tattoos. But it's also clear that he's not going to compete even with a well-to-do black guy or a well-to-do non-white man. It is what it is. Why? Because it's like, yo, you know who I am? Right? It's just like the whole idea of who knows you better, who can take you farther. Okay, who can put you on the highest pedestal, the black guy or me, right? And also for the women as well. Okay, I've seen Indian girls reject the Indian guys who came to college and wanted to be hella liberal, fun. You know, some of them joined a white fraternity, and they're sitting there trying to holler at the black girl or the white girl, the Hispanic girl, you know, and they're pretty much on some white boy, you know, I'm going to do whatever I want to do tip. And I've seen the whole traditional Indian girl say no. Sorry. What makes you think that we're going to compete, right, with other women? I don't care if they're in college. I don't care, you know, if we have the same lecture Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. What makes you think we're going to compete? I'm only going to compete against other well-to-do traditional Indian women. Why? Because I can do more for your ass than they can. Yeah, they may be cool, they may be on point, but at the end of the day, I can do things for you that you don't even have to ask me to do. I already know. So there's a whole bunch of things that will have to go unsaid. Not to say that I'm going to be perfect, but it's that whole, you know, she can only connect with you 80% at her best, and at my best, I'm giving you 90 to 95%. Okay? So it goes both ways. This is not one of those things where, you know, it's okay for a man or okay for a woman. This goes both ways. People want exclusivity. I'm not saying it needs to be forever. Okay? Obviously, time is important and people have to move on. Right? But if that man is in his prime, okay, and if that woman is in her dating prime, she's going to want exclusivity. So the black woman who's anywhere from, you know, 23 to 27 isn't going to be okay with you as a black man who's going to sit back and say, yeah, I'm checking for you, but I'm also going to be checking for other women as well. Right? She's not going to deal with that shit. She's only going to want to compete with other like-minded girls. Right? She's only going to want to compete with her sorority sisters. You know what I mean? Like the whole same grouping. You know, we're all the same, so I compete with them, but I'm not going to compete, you know, with, you know, the hood rat chick just because she's light skinned or she has a fat ass, or the white girl just because she went to college as well. I'm on my prime. Okay, what I can do for you is more. It is what it is. It's just like the NBA, right? Two teams say, hey, I'm going to pay you top dollar. But my top dollar may be more than his top dollar, right? I can afford to pay him more. On a little side note, you know, that's why LeBron James isn't going anywhere after this season. You know, all the other NBA teams are like, we're going to try to sign LeBron James. But Cleveland is the only team that can pay him top dollar, right? So their top dollar is going to be more than another team's top dollar. And the same thing for men. You know, I don't know how women think that a black man in his prime, okay, whether he's 30 or whatever, he's established, he has his job, is going to sit back and try to, you know, entertain you and court you, and you're on some, you know, I'm still going to check for the bad boy, or I'm going to check for, you know, the white guy. Even though the white guy is, you know, a pretty decent guy, you know, in his own right. But it goes back to the whole idea of, you know what I can do for you? Yeah, those dudes is cool, but do you know what I can do for you? You know how many things don't have to be said? Do you know how many things are going to be done that you don't even have to think about? Right? And that's just how it is. And like I said, other groups do this. So it's not something that, you know, is so different. Other groups been doing this. Even in high school. Like I said before, I've seen black guys get shut down. That's why I have never been on this, I'm going to go chase down the non-black chick. I've been seeing this as early as high school. Right? Where the Hispanic girl's on some, yeah, you know, I'm checking for the black guy, and the Hispanic dude's is like, well, peace out. What makes you think I'm going to compete? You know, why are you trying to get at Malik? No, it's not going to work that way. So anyways, that's my vid. Yeah, it's the problem on both sides of the coin. People who are especially are in their prime are always going to want exclusivity, and they're only going to want to compete with the best and brightest of their own race. It doesn't matter if people outside are equally as good, because at their best they feel. Mind you, it's not an issue of can they really connect with you more, it's about how they feel. Okay, so yeah, the white girl may be able to connect with me at the same level as the black girl can, but there's no way of measuring it. What I'm trying to say is the black girl feels like she can connect with me more. Right? It's not to say that, no white man can connect with a black guy on the same level. But no, if that's how I feel, that's what I'm going to do. That's how I'm going to act. My feelings are going to, dictate how I pursue you. That's why it's so important. And once again, it's on both sides of the coin. So y'all have to really understand that. That's my vid. Y'all take it easy. God bless.